All right, Nick, let's talk about the Las Vegas Raiders is in the heat of training camp. We're starting to see what of these Raiders players are starting to stand out. And there's good news because not one, but two young Raiders players are really starting to shine. I think they're going to help out this team tremendously. And I think Raiders fans are going to love this news. So stay tuned for that. But first, I'm Andrew. That's Nick. And this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, Nick, as I alluded to, not one, but two Raiders players already starting to stand out at a key position of need for Las Vegas. We're talking about the wide receiver position. And outside of Jacoby Myers, this team was kind of hurting for, who's going to be the next up and coming receiver on this team. I think we have good news that there's two guys that are really starting to shine. Let's get into the article, and we have some interesting data to kind of how these guys fill into the team on the other side. So first up, got an article from Raiders.com. It says Dante Thornton and Jack Beck participated in their first padded NFL practice on Monday, both coming away with touchdowns in impressive fashion. So that's good news. This is about Thornton first. It says, I'm very confident in those one-on-one matchups, but I'm even more confident because I know Gino is going to take a shot with that, Thornton added. Like he tells me every single day, if you've got a one-on-one matchup, I'm coming to you. So that lets me know I have got to win every time I get one-on-ones, but because he's going to throw me the ball. So early on for Thornton, it sounds like Geno Smith isn't trusting him. He knows that if Thornton can get in those one-on-one situations, really good stuff can happen. So good news there. Remember that. On to Betch. As for Betch, it was his second straight practice with a touchdown grab. It's all about just the scheme and what all the coaches are talking about. Betch said of his catches, just being able to attack leverage, uncover the DB's leverage, find ways for the quarterback to get a throwing window to you, and going out to make plays. So what I'm getting from this is Betch is a really great scheme fit. He falls into the Raiders scheme. He does a lot of really good stuff for them here. So I really like that as well. And now keep both of those things in mind. Scheme fit, what the Raiders are liking to do right now for Betch. When you think about Thornton, think one-on-one matchups, deep plays. This is a guy on go balls. Geno Smith says, I'm going to get you when you're in those positions. So first graphic we have up is about Betch and what this team is. So on the left-hand side, we have all of the completions and touchdowns. Obviously, a touchdown is a completion that Geno Smith threw last season on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, we have Jack Betch's catches from college last year. If you can see, Geno Smith, primarily last year, everything was in that 20 yards and in category. He's got a lot of passes right in that area. And if you look at what Betch did last year, guy who got 60 plus passes, he is right in that sweet spot as well. So, like I said, scheme, fit. This is a guy who comes in and does what Geno Smith loves to do best. He can get all of that 20-yard and in stuff, and he did it at a very, very high level last year at TCU. So you'll like what Betch brings in a scheme fit to this team as far as a guy who can really highlight what Geno Smith is comfortable. But now let's go to the next chart highlighting Dante Thornton and what he's able to do. Reminder, Betch had like 60 plus catches last year, where Thornton had like 26 catches last year. So much less catches, but you see what he did when he was getting the ball. You look at that 20 plus yard range. That is where Thornton really shined. He had about, let's say, 10 plus catches in that. So almost half of his catches were in that 20 plus yard range. And if you look at the blue dots, those are when those catches turned into touchdowns. So 50% of the catches that Dante Thornton caught in that 20 plus yard range ended up turning into touchdowns. This guy's a big play machine. He does a lot of great stuff in where Geno Smith was either, I say, not comfortable last year or did not have the weapons to throw to last year. So this is where he really shines. He adds to Geno Smith's game. It's something that we haven't seen before, something I think can really be a good addition to this Raiders team. So Geno Smith saying he trusts Thornton in those situations is good because that's what Thornton is good at. Really great long ball type of guy, 20 plus yard catch type of guy. Thornton really adds a special factor to Geno Smith's game where Betch really complements what Geno Smith was already good at. So when I'm looking at these guys and what they bring to this team, Thornton sounds like a really good addition. Betch seems like a really good comfort blanket type of style player for Geno Smith that can fit in. And this is a guy in Betch who plays all around the field, so he can slot in wherever necessary as well. But overall, really good additions for the Raiders here. I think the fact that they're already doing good in padded practice against other NFL players, that's great news as well, too, because we knew these guys were good. We said these are possible steals, guys that could be big additions to this team, but already seeing them line up against other NFL guys, that's the best kind of news you can hear as a fan. But enough from me, Nick. I've covered this enough. Want to hear what you have to say. But first, Raiders fans, in the comment section below, we're talking about wide receivers and what that position has meant to the Raiders for a long time. So let us know, who's your favorite or what's the best rookie wide receiver season for a Raiders player in the comment section below. There's been a lot of Raiders rookie wide receivers to come through. Who had the best season, though? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And while you're down there, check the description box below the video and sign up for our Substack newsletter. You're going to love it. If you don't, you could just unsubscribe, but give it a chance. I think you're going to love it. Has all kinds of articles, data, charts, our favorite stuff that we want to give to you. And heck, if you have a really great comment, you might see yourself there as well. So we highlight our favorite comments of the week there too. So sign up for that. I think you're going to love it. Give it a chance. I think it'll be something you look forward to every single week. But nonetheless, Nick, what are your thoughts out of all of this stuff in Raiders camp?
So one of the things we've talked about is that the Las Vegas Raiders put a real clear emphasis this offseason on getting back to stability. They were not about a long-term rebuild, trying to take a multi-year process to getting back to win 8, 9, 10 games. It was clear at the top of the organization, decision was made to compete now. They want to get back to the postseason now. They want to go back to getting to 8, 9, 10, 11 wins today. And that's why they got Pete Carroll, right? Pete Carroll, unless he surprises, Father Time, ain't going to coach another 20 years, right? He's a really good coach, but he's a now coach. Geno Smith, again, other side of 30. He's been around the block a lot. He's not the next quarterback for 10, 15 years for the Las Vegas Raiders. So the two most important areas of the field, they went veteran. They want to win now. We talk about stability. We talk about the moves they made this offseason, fixing a lot of their problems. They went running back in the first round, right? Running backs traditionally, for lack of a better word, die very young in the NFL. So as good as Ashton Genty probably will be for the Raiders, and we all think he'll be stupendous, he likely won't be playing another 8, 9 years from now. He's not a super long-term answer, even if he plays ridiculously well. Running backs just don't last very long in the NFL. That's a fact. I don't like it, but that's just a fact. So the Raiders structured everything to win basically now. They're not like literally win now, Super Bowl or bust, but they want to get to contention now. And they did a heck of a job executing on the strategy. We've covered that over this offseason. But what's the interesting parallel to this, and this is where Spytech and Carroll get a lot of credit, is they also got really dynamic playmakers like Beck, like Thornton here, that can come in and also be a long-term answer as well. And that's what they did. And I think this is where Spytech and the entire front office needs to get more credit, because most franchises, most front offices, in fact, virtually none of them can juggle a dual responsibility. They're either all in now to win a title or they're in a long-term rebuild. What the Raiders have done, which is so impressive to me, is that they've hyper aggressive went after getting back to contention now. And they did a great job. They checked every box. Need to get better at running the football, running back, got it done. Better at quarterback, got it done. Coach that can win now, got it done. Veteran coaching staff, got it done. Great GM hire, got it done. Right? All these boxes that you want to check, they went out and did it. Phenomenal work by the Raiders. Their biggest weaknesses on defense, coverage grade, made a lot of great moves this entire offseason to fix it, right? Like, they've almost positioned themselves, in my opinion, to be a playoff team. I think they're actually going to be a lot better than people think. I think they're going to be vying for a playoff position before it's all said and done. There's a lot of people are sleeping on the Raiders right now, but they've also, in parallel, done a phenomenal job finding these great prospects that I think will contribute this year, but will be long-term pieces as well. And I think that's where credit has to be given to this Raiders organization. And it's just one of those rare things. It doesn't happen very much, but they got it done. Thornton, Betch, absolutely dominating at this point, doing great things across the board. And look, this isn't a surprise. We've seen them all the way through the mini camp phase, through the OTA phase, doing great things, drawing all kind of praise. We talked about both of these receivers, but the fact that they don't have not the fact that they have not one but two of these guys, we're talking about long-term success. And then you take a look at the rest of their offense. You look at, okay, DJ Glaze. Okay, you look at Grant, the young tackle. Okay, you look at JPJ. You start realizing Brock Bowers. This is an offensive skill set that's going to be around for a very long time. The future at the quarterback position will be in doubt post Geno, but they're in this great position where they can win now and build an environment and build an infrastructure. So that way, when it's time to find the next quarterback, they'll have all the pieces in place for that next quarterback to slide in. By then, Thornton will be mature. You look at Betch will be mature, JPJ, Glaze, Grant, all these guys, Bowers, all of these guys will be ready to just be the infrastructure for a young quarterback. So what Spytech did here is so impressive. They built a great roster that's capable of winning now overnight with great move after great move after great move, while simultaneously not mortgaging their future and also building for the future. That's what's so crazy about this. And this is why I think the Raiders and you, Raider Nation, should be so excited. There's a lot of reason to be pumped up for 2025. But a lot of times when teams sort of go through this transition and go all in, they're sort of just, hey, it's like the Pittsburgh Steelers. You talk to Steelers fans, they're excited for 2025 with Rodgers. They're a little nervous for the future. They don't know what's coming, right? You look at the Raiders, you can be excited for 2025, but you can also be excited for the future because the Raiders front office, the Raiders organization has done a great job building the infrastructure out for the future as well. Look, Thornton, he's had a great camp so far, making big plays. I love the fact he's on the same page with Geno Smith. Geno Smith did not get a lot of big play opportunities. I think that was more scheme with Seattle, but you need scheme and talent. He has the scheme with the Raiders, and now he's got the talent with Thornton. And Betch is just a guy who does everything right, just a quality, whether it's route running, blocking, possession, hands, he does everything at a high level. Classic jack of all trades, perfect addition for this Raiders offense. You look across the board, these are just great moves and good players executing at a high level. Now's the time to get excited, Raider Nation. I really, truly believe that. Now, I'm not saying they're going to go win the Super Bowl. I'm not going to guarantee that. But in terms of what the Raiders are doing at a franchise level, at an operational level, they're executing on all cylinders. They've got rookies stepping up. They've got a clear plan in place. They got short, medium, and long-term strategy. This is just phenomenal execution by the Las Vegas Raiders. Something we're not used to saying, by the way. Even in past years when we were excited about, what Antonio Pierce may have been doing, we were saying like, hey, good locker room fit, good culture fit. Let's hope Tom Telesco can, some of his moves pay off, for example. Now we've got everything, culture, locker room. We've got talent. We've got now. We've got future. We haven't mortgaged the future. We got cap space, but we're also in contention today. We've got good quarterback play, good coach. No matter what you look at, the Raiders are crushing it. And this latest report and the latest data you highlighted from just a low level is absolutely outstanding. But when you take a step back and look at that 30,000 foot view, it's even better. Raider Nation, I've said this a bunch of times already, but I really think it's true. You guys should be really pumped up, not just for this season, but for the future as well.